So what I'm going to speak about is over here. It's security software and what we see there and how the security software, really top line, will develop. What is the future outlook for it? I gave some retrospective just to show the post-Snowden effect. I know it's like a cheesy word, but anyways, you can see that security market saw the growth since 2013, and well, we expect it to spike in 2015, just because after that, all the economic issues within the region and the overall security market saturation will break in. But even given that, by year 2015, the compound annual growth rate will be 7% year over year, so that's roughly 30% up in 5 years. And to give you more flavor, right now we look at a market which is slightly above 6 billion in software security, but in year 2020, we expect it to be slightly below 9 billion, which is a 3 billion growth in just a span of 5 years. So that's a tremendous opportunity there. But just to not say that every single part of security is even and growing the same, we need to look deeper, just a tinge bit deeper, to the segments. And here we see a change, which is partially affected by the GDPR and all the concerns and internal organizational issues, where endpoint is not anymore a market leader in terms of driving. We see that endpoint is by far the biggest in volume, but what drives the market, as we see it in upcoming 5 years, is security and vulnerability and identity and access management. That comes, as I said, with GDPR, the concerns about privacy, data loss prevention, all kinds of new emerging issues in the market. And just to give you a little bit more flavor on that, given that they're growing from a smaller base, they contribute in 5 years roughly to those two markets, 62% in 5 years. So of that 3 billion I mentioned before, that's a chunk of money. And this is actually what tallies really nicely with the GDPR number, which Duncan had just shown you. It's probably mostly falls into that part. There are other markets, let's not discount that. There's network security, there's web security. Network actually had a really great year, 2015, and we see it growing afterwards. But there are, of course, the stagnating ones on the very right-hand side of this nice chart. Messaging security, well, I think most of you know what is happening there. So with this said, let's just switch immediately to success factors. Starting with the first one on the list, which is automation and targeting growth areas. And when I say targeting growth areas, I'm not referring to those two segments which I mentioned in the previous slide. It's scattered across the landscape. There's bits and pieces of security markets which are growing faster than anything on the scale. So, and one of those segments is automation. I more and more hear from end users that they need an automated approach. And our survey, which I will give you a sneak peek on, which is published, actually said that automation is the second factor within organizations for end users to buy security. The first, of course, is something that Duncan already shared, the ever-expanding and ever-changing threat landscape. Let's switch to the second point, which is a comprehensive portfolio, which, forgot to mention something. So why automation is there? It's mostly because of the lack of qualified IT personnel within companies, and everybody is speaking about it, and we all know that. Unfortunately, we all don't know how to force people to educate themselves in security. So going to the second point, which is a comprehensive portfolio, I know we spoke about it for years, but it's still there. People want a complete secure shell on their organizational environment. The problem is that there is no silver bullet, and there will be none. Well, unless we shift to a different universe eventually. So the comprehensive portfolio is still there as a second success factor for vendors to go to the market, and it can be achieved either from the internal R&D perspective for those bigger guys who can spend that money to cover more ground, and it as well can be done through the partnerships. So everybody has a chance to get there, but it needs to be integrated and easy to implement within the organization. And the last but not least is end user education. Okay, we have the IT personnel skill shortage, but what happens when it goes to organizations? We basically see the same thing. People do not understand why, how they should implement security within an organization, and they actually don't even sometimes understand what they need it for. That's surprising, but it happens.